The Minneapolis Svengali, the twisted case of Harry Haywood. In the winter of 1894, Minneapolis was captivated by a crime so cold-blooded it felt like a psychological thriller. It involved a trailblazing dressmaker, a janitor under a spell, and a handsome playboy named Harry Haywood, whose manipulative powers earned him a chilling nickname, the Minneapolis Svengali. Catherine "Kitty" Jeing was a successful, ambitious woman who moved from New York to open an upscale shop on Nicollet Avenue. She was described as tall and imposing, and though her engagement to a clerk named Frederick Reed had ended, she still wore his ring in a bag around her neck. She lived in the Ozark Flats, a building owned by Harry Haywood's father. Harry Haywood was a wealthy playboy and inveterate gambler who famously said, "Money is my god." He seduced Kitty not with romance, but with seductive plans to acquire wealth. She was enthralled by his talk of selling stolen jewelry and passing counterfeit currency, even fronting him money for his gambling ventures. Harry's ultimate trap involved a $10,000 life insurance policy he convinced Kitty to take out, naming himself as the beneficiary. He told her it was collateral for a great speculation involving $20,000 worth of diamonds pawned in New York. To protect his interest from her estate, he coached her to sign legal notes pretending she was borrowing money to expand her dressmaking business. He even staged an exhibition of money in a restaurant, paying her $7,000 in front of witnesses. But it was a play. The envelopes contained mostly counterfeit bills, which Harry surreptitiously swapped for scrap paper before she even left the room. Harry didn't want to pull the trigger himself. He first tried to pressure his older brother, Adry, to kill Kitty. Adry was so terrified that he warned a family lawyer, Levi Stewart, who unfortunately dismissed the story as a tall tale. Harry then turned to Klaus Blixt, the apartment janitor. Through a mix of blackmail, liquor, and what Blixt called a hypnotic gaze that made it impossible to say no, Harry forced him into the plot. The day of the murder, Harry told Kitty he needed her help in a green goods deal. They were going to buy counterfeit currency. She was to take some money and go with Blixt to the outskirts of town. Harry would meet them there with the counterfeiters. That night, he gave Blixt a .38 caliber Colt revolver and a quart of whiskey. He told Blixt to drink it all. While Harry established an alibi at the Grand Opera House watching the musical, a trip to Chinatown, Blixt drove Kitty toward Lake Calhoun. There, Blixt shot her behind the ear and dumped her body in the road. The legal battle was a media sensation. Harry Haywood's trial began on January 21, 1895, and lasted a grueling 46 days. 10 of those days were spent just finding a jury. The prosecution strategically switched the trial dates, fearing that if Blixt, the actual shooter, was acquitted first, they could never convict Harry as the mastermind. Defended by W. Owen, the most distinguished advocate in the Northwest, Harry faced 136 witnesses. The most damning testimony came from Blixt and Adry. The defense even tried to claim Adry was insane to discredit him, but the judge refused. When Harry finally testified, he denied everything, blaming his brother, Andrew, and the janitor, Blixt. The jury wasn't fooled. After deliberating for less than 3 hours, they returned a verdict of guilty of first-degree murder. In the aftermath, Klaus Blixt pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life in prison. But the mastermind, Harry Haywood, was sentenced to hang. On the eve of his execution, Harry gave a rambling confession, admitting to the plot and claiming he had committed other murders in San Francisco, Pasadena, and El Paso. On December 11, 1895, Haywood went to the gallows in a sharp cutaway coat, joking with reporters. His last words were, "Pull her tight, I'll stand pat." The execution was grisly. The fall didn't break his neck, and he was slowly strangled for 13 minutes. Even after his death, rumors persisted that he had been resurrected by a secret organization, with some pointing to the Masons. Whether he was a master of the occult or just a cold-blooded sociopath, the Minneapolis Svengali remains a chilling part of Minnesota history. And that wraps it up. Thanks so much for watching Paper Trails of the Past. I really appreciate you spending your time here with me. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might find it helpful too. Your support means everything and helps the channel grow. Alright, that's it for today. See ya next time.